In this video I will be showing you how to go from a good player to an expert player. I will go over the following topics. 1. How to become better at focus minigame. 2. How to use and counter the cheesy strategies. 3. Some player strategies. To more easily win focus minigames is pretty simple once you get the hang of it. A bit. It's still not a guaranteed way of winning, but it does give you a little bit more time to make decisions. So the first move you have to make when you start a focus minigame is moving your players backwards. That makes it so you have a little bit more time to react to the next move they are going to make. After that you just watch where they are going to go and counter by sidestepping on that direction. Now two things can happen. One is they go past you or you block them. Or the second option, they try to go past you and because you moved back before, they can't move past by running one time. Then they are going to be really close to you, so you have to time it perfectly. Just before they are going to go through your hands, you have to press B, and that is for a defensive stand, to make it so when you time it correctly, you block them and win. It does not matter if they are far away from you, if they touch the hands, you will win the focus mini game by side tackling them. And now on how to counter this tactic. It's pretty simple. What I always do is, right the moment I get into the focus minigame, I immediately go to the left or to the right. That works because they don't have enough time to go backwards and give themselves more options. Most of the time at least. Now there's still a chance that they will have enough time for a second when you try to run past them. Now you can try running past them again, or if they get too much distance and you don't think you're going to make it or win, you can just pass the ball back to another player of your team. Then no one gets any tension points and you still have the ball and can try again. That's all the tips for the focus minigames. Now let's move on to the cheesy strategies. One cheesy strat a lot of people use, instead of actually trying to score a goal the normal way, they try to get as close to the goal as possible and pass the ball straight in the goal's net. It's pretty easy to counter this. When you think someone is going to try to use it, you just have to use a zone to slow down time and then they can't do it anymore. The second and harder cheesy strat to counter is when the opponent's player are close to the goal and on the corner of either side of the field, if they are not passing the ball to other players and are moving as close to the outside of the field as possible, in or out of the zone, they are trying to make your goalkeeper move so far to one side that they can easily pass the ball to a different player on the opposite side and score a goal without your keeper having any chance to stopping it. How you can stop this from happening are the following steps. First, one I always did was making sure your defenders are located on the opposite side of your goalkeeper so they can possibly stop the ball. But since the last update you can now control your own goalkeeper's movement by pressing CL for the switch on the controller. By doing that you can easily move the keeper to the position he needs to be. But I recommend doing both strategies just in case, to be safe. Now for some player strategies. It's really good to not only look at the player's stats, but also at the team passives. Here are some examples of what you can do with them. If you have Devlin and Bellatrix on your team, when your tension bar is full, you will get 100% more kicking power. Devlin gives you 60% I think, and Bellatrix gives you 40%. And if you add that up, 100% of a power boost. So now you also know if you see your opponent using those players, that you should force them to use their tension too. So they can never get the advantage of the passives. Now another example I use, if you have Nathan and Jack on your team, they both give a passive that reads, until you receive a foul, your team castle defense plus 10%. And if you have Axel and Sean, they have the same, but instead for defense, for attack and defensive, plus 10%. So I have plus 20% for defensive, for goal, for the castle defensive, and for attack and defense. So that's for the focus minigame. I use that because I get a lot of fouls, so I almost never use tackle anymore. So because I don't use that, I was like, okay, let me get some players that give me advantage for that. So you can really get specific on your playing style what passives you can use or not. So I recommend you really pay attention to their passives so you can actually get a cool strategy going. Oh, and the players have to be on the field for their passive to be active. Remember that. And that's all the tips I have for you guys today. I hope I helped you guys by giving some advice you didn't know yet, and if I did, maybe consider subscribing for more daily Inazuma 11 content. I'll see you guys later. Bye doobie doobie doobie.